And of course, I can't go without honoring and thanking Dr. Dave Theil. I met Theil 6 years ago at a retreat at Rose Medical Center up in Theil. And Dr. Sid was the connection between the two of us, and it was just an amazing opportunity for me to learn more about Rose Medical Center, and we were learning about stress and resilience at the time. And then, I don't know, it was like 3 years ago, I'm like, Dave, you need to come on my board because we need to start impacting physicians, because not only are employees stressed, but so are the physicians, and so are the administrators and everybody. And we're all stressed, right? And so we have to learn how to be more resilient and understand that stress doesn't have to affect us. And so Dave, I congratulate you and I thank you for all that you've done for us and really what you're doing to impact the physicians within Health One. Thank you.
After the humorous. Emma. It may surprise you, but I am not a professional speaker. But I do appreciate getting an award at my age. You don't get me, and so I would like to say thank you for that support. And it's my pleasure and privilege to be part of Progressive Health Center and to be able to just have a few moments to speak in front of this crowd. I spoke a little bit last year, and as for those of you who don't know me, I am Dave Theil. I'm an anesthesiologist, chairman of anesthesia at Rose, and I've been there for 28 years and chair for about 24. Working with patients, nurses, and physicians, there is a huge need for wellness, resiliency training. It is a huge need. And I have needed that myself. For those of you who don't know, last year I had a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately, it was stage 1, but I just completed in May a year of treatment, which included chemotherapy, radiation therapy, surgery, a big surgery, and more chemotherapy. I am back to work part-time. I'm cancer-free, and but resilience training and gratitude has been a large portion of that journey. So what I thought I would just do here, I was trying to think, what can I say meaningful? I'm not in any way going to be funny. But what I thought I would do is talk about just very few lessons that I learned after a year of cancer. Now, I will say I haven't had any tremendous epiphanies. I didn't see a light, throughout my fevers and surgery and procedures. I never really had a divine experience, but I did come away with a few lessons. First one, and I know Marty, you told me I'm better off script, but I want to make sure I don't babble. So Sam, my son, if I do babble, give me like a sign.
Gladly.
First lesson I learned was I'm not as strong as I thought I was. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't want to tell anybody. Patty, my wife here, obviously knew, and Sam had to know because we had to cancel a big trip the day I found out. But I really just wanted to hide in a cave and come out when it was all over and say, hey, by the way, I had cancer. But even before I woke up from my biopsy, people were calling and texting. There was no way to contain the news. It was out. And it has spread widely and quickly. And so because there was no way to contain the news on that, I just embraced the support. What I found out by doing that was I got a lot of tremendous support from my wife, my son Sam, my daughter Jackie, my evergreen community, which includes Holly, and Nancy, and honestly, her jewelry is beautiful. And we sat together and went over the jewelry together at our house, and everything she has does have a meaning for it. And she made a bracelet for my wife, and my wife forgot to put it on tonight.
Oh, jeez.
I had it on. I took a shower.
And anyway, but it was a charm bracelet that had several different charms regarding various cancers, because not only did I have pancreatic, but my best friend's daughter, almost exactly the same time I got diagnosed, she developed sarcoma. So she kind of followed the same course that I did, and she's cancer-free up in Chicago. So she's 25 and pregnant, so that's exciting. But not only have I been supported by my wife, my family, Holly and Nancy and all the Evergreen community, but my group, and Marty leads our group. The group and Amanda have been tremendously supportive. They've allowed me to work part-time through this whole thing and continue to support me, which has been tremendous. My Rose colleagues and HCA, Maureen and I have met several times regarding the PSL wellness program. But Holly, we've had tremendous support from HCA, and we really appreciate our partnership. I've had personal support from them, all my incredible doctors, and of course, what I found by accepting all that support is that I was far stronger as a collective group of people than I could have been on my own. I don't know that I could have got through this on my own. I really don't. It's really overwhelming. Not just the physical, but the emotional and the paperwork. And so I will say just a special call out to my wife, Patty, because she has been there every step of the way for me, and she's handled all the paperwork, which is nearly insurmountable, but I really couldn't have done it without her. That was lesson number one: accept the support. You're definitely stronger, and you definitely need it. Lesson two: I'm still afraid of the dark. I had stage 1 cancer. I'm cancer free, but I still have dark thoughts. Tomorrow I got to get a CAT scan. I got to get one every 3 months. Every time I go in for the CAT scan, I go, is the shoe going to drop? Is there going to be a recurrence? Because then I know what that means. And so I struggle with those dark thoughts still. And we probably all have dark thoughts at times. These are mine. And what I have learned is that, when you fixate on what might happen in the future, Dr. Ahmed Sood calls it an attention sum. It creates anxiety. And what you need to do is be more intentionally present and focus on today, and realize that how I feel today is pretty good, and that's good enough. Lesson 3, I'm very resilient. And actually we all are, I feel. Everybody falls down, you get up, you fall down, you get up. We're taught to be resilient from the start. But that's not the lesson. That's not the message. What I'm trying to learn to do is to embrace that challenge. Find joy in the darkness. What has the cancer brought to me that has improved my life? Now that's hard. That's a hard thing to get to. But what I've discovered is there is a silver lining. Nancy knows she survived. It's the people, it's that connection that I spoke about. I've had so many intense conversations and true connections with people that I never would have had when you walk by and go, how you doing? Good. How you doing? Good. Boom. You go on to your life. But now we sit and we go, how are you? You know, it's just a different tone and we really connect. And that is at least one of the good parts of having cancer. People reach out to you from everywhere. And that's been tremendous. I like the people in my sphere, and I've connected better with them. Another realization is that when you're treated for cancer, it's dehumanizing. And yet, ironically, I feel more connected to the human race than ever before. So, dehumanizing because I'm sitting on a CAT scanner, I'm sitting naked with that paper, and I usually refuse to take my underwear off. I just say, no, I'm not going to. I turn down the IV fluids myself. I don't want to have to go pee. But, you know, you're laying on you're getting body radiation, or you're getting chemotherapy, and I can't even focus my eyes. You're getting surgery, and it really hurts, and now they do all these other drugs besides narcotics, and, you know, I couldn't even read a text. So I told the nurse, you got to stop that. So it is dehumanizing, but because I have connected with so many people in such an intense way, I feel more human than ever. Now, this is the human condition. Everybody in here, I could hand this mic around. You have a daughter that was born deaf. Everybody deals with something. I'm not alone. I'm telling my story, but we could trade places and you could tell your story. I know that. That's what connects us. The need for finding joy, finding meaning, stress management, resilience, forgiveness. These are the lessons that Progressive Health is committed to, and this is what we're trying to promote in the hospital. You really need it when you need it. Unfortunately, when you need it, you're already in the foxhole. It's hard to pull yourself out. So it's nice to learn some of these skills and techniques and know who you can call to get home. Melody gave me acupuncture before a chemotherapy treatment. I like the aromatherapy. You go down there and it calms you down. The massages are great. Our health coaches are very knowledgeable. So I have learned a few things through this year of cancer that have been very meaningful. It has made my commitment to progressive health even more so. Marty and Amanda know my passion with it, with our group, and Holly and Maureen know my passion with it in the HCA system. We have it's recognized how valuable it is, but it's not directly valued because we get so consumed with the daily business, again, until we actually need it. So I want to remind you that you're at a fundraiser. We are trying to raise money to support the patients. We want to bring integrative health more to the patients. I'm fully Western medicine. I was trained in this traditional med school and traditional training. But we know that doesn't have all the answers. And we know that we need to be accepting of other techniques, acupuncture, aromatherapy, massage therapy, health coaching, and there's a whole variety of other integrated techniques that we want to bring out to patients and make available also to the nurses and the physicians. One of the side effects of chemo is they give you dry mouth. We have partnered with HCA. They've been a very strong partner, but we can't bring all of our ideas to the people who need it on just with that partnership. And so we are asking for support to really help us bring out the integrative health for patients. I think tonight, Sue, you told me the money goes toward Rose, but we're so tied together with Press St. Luke's, Rose, and the whole HCA system that we really want to promote it throughout the entire system. It's funny because I was in the hospital with sepsis a month or so ago, and I was talking to my nurse, and she was young and really nice. And I said, "Have you heard about our Progressive Health Center, our Wellness Lounge at Rose?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, I've heard about it." I go, "Have you been there?" She goes, "No." I said, "Why not?" She goes, "Well, you know, I usually run on my own after work." I go, "Okay, but sometimes I'm too tired." I go, "Do you ever get too tired just at work?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, of course." And of course, sometimes, you know, I have to miss lunch because I'm taking care of patients. And there's a real need. Our nurses, even the non-nursing hospital staff, are highly committed to taking great care of patients, and they often overlook their own wellness doing so. So we want your support to help improve the wellness of the patients, of the nurses, of the rest of the hospital staff, and the physicians. The physicians are harder nut to crack, and Marty and I are working on it for our group, but you know, they think they have the answers for themselves, but we know that burnout and stress is overwhelming to the medical profession. So it's a huge need. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. I appreciate any support that you give us, and really look at all the unique jewelry that Nancy's made. Thank you very much.